SandCity Sports, take two. Okay, good. And we are back on Twitch. And same thing. Facebook is not acknowledging for some reason. Okay. Maybe it'll pick it up. This is like a Murphy's Law Monday, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Is.
YouTube connection is great. Stream connection is great. Jason Tatum is giving his interview. And I'm doing my best to connect with the Facebook audience. I don't know why I'm not being allowed to. Okay, so the video source is connected. How about my web stream? Facebook is not allowing. Oh. Okay. All right, one more try, bro.
Then we gotta get it rocking.
I do want to get this Facebook set up. I'm not sure why. It's giving me a hard time. And for some reason, oh man. 1, 2. Mark Zuckerberg wants to give me a hard time. Reset the stream key. And we're going to reset the URL. Technical difficulties are infuriating. I don't know why it won't click over. Right. So we're live, but all we're doing is dealing with technical difficulties, which is no fun and very frustrating. So for the Facebook, I'm just going to come over to the webcam. It acknowledges the webcam for some reason. But that shot is all messed up. I don't know if I can. Won't acknowledge my freaking stream. Executive decisions, bro. Should I jettison
I don't got all night, so I think we should just get it rocking. Try maybe one more time, but I don't got a lot of time tonight.
You're right. This is nonsense. And All right, I just got to change the shot real quick. Just got to change the shot, and then we'll go. All right, let's see. Okay. No, it's even worse. All right, that's about as good as we can go. That's about as good as we can get it. All right, Facebook, welcome. Welcome on the Facebook side. YouTube and the Twitch are good. Technical difficulties, so you can't see my partner in crime here. Shot is decent. That shot is decent. Okay, bro.
What's up?
Apologies. Let's get into this. Celtics, you just saw the game dispatching the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers team that did not have Donovan Mitchell. Folks, almost 10 minutes of technical difficulties. This is ridiculous, preposterous, unacceptable, and outlandish. I'm going to do my best to straighten it out. I don't know why Facebook doesn't want to be my friend. Last week, the live was tremendous, so you could see both myself and my bro on the Facebook. You can only see me, so that's a step in the wrong direction. So I apologize for the 10 minutes of technical difficulties. We're going to blast off. Celtics dispatched the Cleveland Cavaliers without Donovan Mitchell. This game went down to the stretch. Celtics win by about 10 points. I feel they should have mollywopped these guys, got them right up out of there. Bro, do you have any specific thoughts on the Celtics and the Cavs?
I feel like, playoff game. Should have got a big win, but I'll take the 10-point win and take up 3-1.
The win is a win. I concur. Celtics have a commanding 3-1 lead now coming back into Boston. I'm just going to check my other. All right, so the YouTube is going well. YouTube is well. Twitch is well. And the Facebook is also well, even though you cannot see my brother. You can only see me because it did not want to cooperate. And so again, folks, SandCity Sports coming live at you. And we're going to break down what we have in the N.B.A. OKC game is just starting off. I'm running way behind. And we have our shot is not anywhere near what it should be on the Facebook. But nonetheless, it's something which is invariably much better than nothing. Okay. Where do we want to? All right, we'll start with the current game, and then we'll dovetail back to the Celtics, and then we have some NBA draft things that I want to touch on. Mavs are up 2-1, have the home court advantage. They can take a 3-1 lead and really cement themselves in this series. It's going to be very difficult for the Oklahoma City Thunder to come back from 3-1. I'm going to stick with my original pick. I have Oklahoma City winning the series. I'm going to take Oklahoma City to win this game, even though they have, put themselves in a tough spot. Giving up the home court advantage in game 2, and then Dallas, again, coming home, take care of business in game 3. Dallas playing with house money. I'm going to say OKC gets their act together and ties up the series tonight. Point spread, we'll just go with a generic 7. OKC by 7. And Luka Doncic on the board early. 2-2 game. We're just blasting off. Bro, any thoughts on Dallas and OKC after I made you wait 10 minutes with these technical difficulties?
I think OKC might be lacking a little bit of leadership come down here in the playoffs.
Not seeing the leadership that you expected from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Yes.
Might that have something to do with the fact that the majority of the team is not over 25 years of age?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, their youth is showing. I would say. I mean, you could just see the leadership coming from the Mavs side, and then I mean, the Thunder look like a bona fide AAU team. They're really good, but that veteran leadership can't be coming from Gordon Hayward.
Point taken. Gordon Hayward. Glad to see him on a contending team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But he's not really a rotational player. And until you just said that, I was hard pressed to even remember that he was on the team in the first place.
That's what I'm saying.
But at the same time, Dallas Mavericks, are we used to looking at Kyrie Irving as a leader? We certainly know that you can't look to me as a leader in the technical sense, as it took me close to 15 minutes to get this thing launched. And then we don't even have the right shot for Facebook. But
well, I mean, wasn't Kyrie a part of that 3-1 comeback?
He was a part of the 3-1 comeback with the Cleveland Cavaliers, as was Adam Silver and the N.B.A. in terms of getting Draymond Green out of there. But Kyrie Irving in that series, even though he hit the distinctive shot, did he have
goodness.
Dallas has a couple pieces that I didn't really recognize or respect, i.e. Gafford and P.J. Washington. That's a big pickup, P.J. Washington for Grant Williams. That's huge.
At the trade deadline, they made two huge. I mean, Grant Williams just wasn't fitting at all.
Not a fit, which is surprising. He was brought in as a character guy to play for the Celtics out of Tennessee. So I thought he was going to have his opportunity going down to Dallas. More minutes, greater shine. I thought
he didn't mesh with Luka.
Was going to be in a similar situation. Say again?
He didn't mesh with Luka. Him and Luka butted heads. He was traded the night after practice.
True. And I don't know, Grant Williams, you look at him as a intelligent individual, high IQ player. Stream. I don't know how he could
I always tell you
not understand that. Bro, you can log off if you need to.
No, I'm still here. What's up? Talk to me.
Still here. First of all, and we're going to interject. Thank you for your patience. These technical difficulties are preposterous. I'm glad that my people on the Facebook are with us. Where's the Facebook feed? This is the one. Facebook's on the 2. I'm glad you guys in Facebook land are with us, even though we don't have the right shot. Chime in, tune in. This is after the Celtics game. We're running a little bit behind going into OT. Mavericks. Grant Williams. Not working out. Surprising to me. I thought that Grant Williams was going to have the same impact with the Dallas Mavericks that Aaron Nesmith had with Indiana Pacers. Okay, even though we're going to get to the Pacers and the Knicks, and people are feeling themselves because of the Game 4 and how that situation played out. Knicks are going to win Game 5 tomorrow. Might have to do another live stream if I can get my act together and get in here on time and get the different live streams hooked up. Disappointed that Facebook did not want to, get right, and you guys can only see me, which is not really optimal. Even though the channel is strong, it's not optimal. You just seeing me. My brother is zoomed in with us, but Facebook did not want to accept information for whatever reason, so on and forth. So it's just me for the Facebook Live following the Celtics win and in early in the first quarter of the Oklahoma City Thunder and what they're doing. And the YouTube is live, it's strong, and we are moving and grooving in the YouTube space, which is great to see. Excuse me, I was over. No, we're not going to do Knicks TV. I'm just going to bump over to my channel and just okay the channel. We live, and so everything is beautiful. Even though we had to wait, folks, we had to wait, but we live and in full effect. So, bro. And you can stay muted if you need to. You're back.
I'm here. What's up?
Grant Williams goes to Dallas. Supposed to be his opportunity to level up. He ends up getting booted out to no man's land, Charlotte Hornets, who, by the way, I think made the right choice in terms of bringing in Charles Lee as their head coach. But disappointing for him. But in terms of the Mavericks, P.J. Washington, they're making out in gold. Or he's exactly the energy 3-and-D type of player that they needed, specifically after they lost Kleber. And then Gafford is another one of those grinders that's going to be in there doing all the things that they need, all of the little things just to allow Luka and Kyrie to fill up the stat sheet with points and assists and frankly, offensive.
Yeah, OKC's going home early, man. OKC
early, meaning this is not going to be a 7-game series?
A 7-game series.
Is it still going 7, or is it going to be a 6-game series?
6 games.
All right, I can't go. I can't. I'm sticking with my pick of OKC, but this is going to be all the way to the end 7-game series as far as I'm concerned. And we're in the early going. Does Luka go for 30 tonight?
Yeah.
Kyrie for 30? No, just Luka.
No. Yeah.
Luka's going to be the one to fill it up, and Kyrie will be the play second fiddle.
Oh, that's offensive foul.
Listen, I think this could be – I think either one of these players can get you 30 points. I think Dallas's model, which I'm late to the party, and I'm not changing my pick. I'm still going with Oklahoma City, but
my
talked
pick on
about
the
Jason
Knicks might
Kidd.
be changed.
Say again?
The OG injury might hurt your Knicks, man. I don't know if you saw my video of the snooze fest.
I did see during the Knicks game where you took a cat nap at the beginning of the second half and didn't miss anything. Game was over at halftime.
The game was over at halftime. I was in the bed. All right, I was counting sheep. I was sleeping good. Blanket was pulled up.
At the same time, my New York Knicks starters were also getting some much-needed rest because Tom Thibodeau, who people slander in terms of running people on the ground, had the good sense to rest La Cosa Nova, Hart, Jalen Brunson, and DiVincenzo, let the other guys get experience, and basically say, you know something, this is your night. We're obviously short-handed.
All I got to say is without OG, it's going to be tough, okay? Without OG, is going to be tough.
Respect. But Indiana Pacers are not coming to Madison Square Garden tomorrow.
That's where I think it's going down. I think it's going down tomorrow night. The Pacers are coming into the Garden, and they're taking storm. That is my hot take. My hot take on SandCity Sports is the Pacers win tomorrow night in the Garden.
And a lot of people feel that way. You're not alone. Myself, as a diehard Tom Thibodeau fan and New York Knicks supporter, based on his strong, firm, and effective leadership, we right the ship tomorrow. New York Knicks. I was going to say double-digit win. That's pushing it. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a very close game.
No double-digit win. And the reason why is no OG.
Okay, no OG, no Bogdanovich, no Mitchell Robinson, no Julius Randle. No problem. Okay, Precious Achiuwa is going to come in and give you the stalwart minutes that he's been providing.
You know who's going to take? You know who takes his lunch money? Siakam, just like he did in Toronto.
Listen,
Siakam.
So
that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Precious Achiuwa, it was Siakam's lunch in Toronto.
Precious Achiuwa has been waiting for this moment, practicing hard
the
process
to get his lunch taken by Pascal Siakam. You know it, Dre.
So,
I know you don't want to hear it. I know you don't want to hear it. It's tough. I know it's been a tough 24 hours for you. But the season is dwindling.
And to that I say we have not yet begun to fight. And I'm picking Precious Achiuwa to win his matchup with Pascal Siakam in the Madison Square Garden tomorrow. You heard it here first. Precious Achiuwa is going to win that matchup against
Win the
Siakam. I don't care
matchup?
what anybody says. Or how do you feel about it? Precious is going to hold him, lock him up, and not just provide offensive rebound, but timely scoring, specifically off of the glass. Okay? Specifically off of the glass and key rebounds. Not just leaving Josh Hart out there to grab up all the rebounds. Precious Achiuwa is going to be
You were sounded
that we need tomorrow, New York Knicks, to get the W.
I don't think this dude Precious Achiuwa was getting much time in Toronto behind Pascal. So I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be.
They feel the same way.
I think this is going to be just a regular practice day, like it was in Toronto, where Pascal would just destroy Achiuwa, and Achiuwa would have to just find his role behind Siakam.
I got you. Okay. So once again, thank everybody for tuning in. The Facebook Live did not want to cooperate, so we're not hooked up. You cannot see the dual cam from the streaming platform. Shout out to Riverside. Let's see. We're good here. Let's go over and check. The live stream is strong. Let's see how we're doing in the Twitch. The Twitch is very strong, over 20 minutes. Okay, adding all these different platforms, building it up piece by piece. Technical difficulties. Late start. I take all of the responsibility on myself. Nonetheless, 20 minutes in, we may be going up to, if not over an hour. Plenty to talk about. We started with Mavs, OKC early on. Dallas 8-point lead, asserting themselves. Oklahoma City needs to okay. Missed a doggone layup. Oklahoma City needs to get it together, not fall too far behind in this first quarter, and you'll be getting the analysis. You guys are watching the game as well. Feel free to jump in the chat, communicate, comment on all the different platforms should you feel the need. We're going to keep moving and grooving. How much do you feel the Pacers will, in your mind, not mine, win by tomorrow?
7.
Okay, comfortable 7. All right, that's it gives them some space. It's a comfortable win. It's a comfortable win.
I just think the Knicks are too. The Knicks are hurt and beat up, and Thibodeau's going to play them boys 48 minutes. So.
Okay, and I'm going to push back on that in terms of where else would you rather be, kids? Hurt, beat up. All right, this is what you play basketball for.
Oh yeah,
obviously
I know.
The money and the fame.
I'm not saying it's the end of the world that they're hurt, beat up. But when you're playing basketball with a hurt foot, that's gonna be tough. 48 minutes with a hurt foot, and the team needs you to give them 30. Like, the Knicks. The way the Knicks win is Brunson has 30 plus, 35 in this series.
True. All right, and then he needs a second scorer, which has been Dante DiVincenzo. Is that his primary role, to be a second scorer? No. Okay, obviously that should be Julius Randle filling that role. And then after Julius Randle, in my mind, Bogdan Bogdanovic is a candidate for the third leading scorer. And even though Dante can score, I just don't see him as your primary scorer. And that just, again, goes to the narrative in terms of the Knicks being depleted. And I got you, right? You look at Indiana Pacers. They have Halliburton, all right, 30-point games since game 1. He's had a couple 30-point games in 2 and 3, 20 points in game 4, but he's gotten it going. Obviously, you can depend on Pascal Siakam for offense. You can get offense from Miles Turner. TJ McConnell, of all people, is giving you buckets off of the bench. Obi Toppin, energy points. So, yes.
Obi Toppin would be real helpful right now in New York. I'll tell you that. His little brother is sitting on the bench.
It's the best of both worlds with OG because he was not going to get the minutes that he would have liked with a healthy Julius Randle. And then you can add on to that with Hartenstein asserting himself. And then you bring in Precious Achiuwa and the last OG. So the minutes, a healthy Knicks team, OG Toppin would be getting less minutes rather than his 6th, 7th man, whatever you want to say, role that he has with Indiana Pacers. So to me, best. It's a win-win. Same thing with Aaron Nesmith. Do you want to play for the Celtics on a championship team? Sure, but you're going to be at the absolute end of the bench. Okay, you're not going to be getting the minutes, specifically after they bring in Drew Holiday and sign Crispy P. Okay, retain Al Horford. So those are opportunities for those guys to do more, in my opinion. Back to the original point about the Knicks searching for scoring. I'm not going to deny that that's the case, but I am going to say and continue to say that this core of Nova guys, even though this situation is reminds me of, though it's not obviously a 1-to-1 comparison, but it is in terms of your backs up against the wall. It's the story of the 300 Spartans. Now, am I saying that La Cosa Nova is the equivalent of the Spartan military and that historic stand against the forces of Persia? No, it's not what I'm saying. But the mentality and the mindset, this is what I am saying, is something in the same ballpark. Yes, I'm saying that. La Cosa Nova, the Nova mentality, is in the same ballpark as the mighty Spartans of the ancient world. So there's no back down. There's no give. Right? There's no butterflies like what Indiana had in Game 3. And these guys are going to have Madison Square Garden at their back. They're going to have the courage and the confidence of their convictions, which is to say, listen, even Jalen Brunson, who people are putting in the MVP conversation, where was he 3 years ago? Oh, yeah, that's right. On the bench on a Rick Carlisle-led team. Thank you. Where was Dante DiVincenzo last year? On the bench for Golden State, behind Steph and Clay and Poole and everybody else. And where was Josh Hart 2-3 years ago? In a indescript role playing for the Portland Trailblazers, okay? And what were those guys all thinking about during those times of scarcity? This moment right now, a Game 5 high-leverage situation, a chance to prove themselves, show what they can do. In prime time, they're going to be ready. My New York Knicks are going to be winning. Thoughts? We go over, okay, Facebook is quiet. The Facebook Live is quiet. We don't even have the right setup. I don't know why Facebook is angry with me and would not allow the Riverside chat. Not sure why Facebook is doing this, but still, we're live. You guys can tune in, say whatever you want, however you want. The YouTube is going close to a half an hour. We jumped in. We had to jump out. The Twitch is going. All right. All of these are marked successes for SandCity Sports platform, even though, as I said, technical difficulties were just preposterous in terms of, first of all, late, and then second of all, connecting to the streaming service. If it's not one thing, it's another. I don't know why Facebook is treating me like this today, but YouTube and Twitch, I've gotten the hang of that, and those have been consistent, which is good. Those have been consistent, which is good. Back to my New York Knicks Game 5 tomorrow. Everybody is going to be tuned in, locked in. And you heard it here first, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. New York Knicks are coming out with a W. It's going to be a close game. And I'm not just relying on the guard and the home court advantage. Jalen Brunson is going to give you all-star MVP conversation production. Dante DiVincenzo is going to give you N.B.A. starter, 13, 14, 15 points a game, right? With a healthy team production. All right, so that's going to be 20 points plus tomorrow, yes, as the second scoring option. Precious Achiuwa, you heard it here first. He is going to give you OG-like. Did I say OG Anunoby? Is he going to be a clone for OG? No. OG-like production and defense and rebounding. He's going to hold the line, playing the 4. Isaiah Hartenstein, he's another one, hungry, built for this, wanting the minutes. All of these guys, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Precious Achiuwa are playing 40-plus minutes. I said it. Playing 40-plus minutes, and the end result of this is going to be a Knicks W. A Knicks W, right.
See, you got all these Knicks players playing out of their roles when in Indiana, everybody's playing the same role they played all season, Andre.
A point taken. What did that get for them in Game 3? a tie game with what 3-4 minutes to go, right?
And a bad call for the game to end. We went through this. We were watching the game on the stream. You said you didn't want the game to end like that. Next game came out, you guys lost.
That was game 2. That was game 2. We're talking about game 3 now. Yes, game 2. Game 1. Game 1 was the illegal screen. I didn't agree with. Game 2 was the inadvertent whistle that compounded with game 1, sent Rick Carlisle into a rage, and he got himself booted. But game 3, who got the calls down the stretch? Indiana. Go watch the film. They got every single close call down the stretch. In fairness, because of the whistles that they got in games 1 and game 2. Okay. But what did they need? I don't even know how to pronounce his last name correctly. Niebrand, tomato. Let's all call the whole thing off. Niebuhr, whatever, Reinhold Niebuhr. Shout out to Reinhold Niebuhr, who was an important religious and also political thinker in the 20th century. Reinhold Niebuhr, pastor in Detroit, wrote a very important book, if I can come from my history philosophy background, called The Nature and Destiny of Man. Reinhold Niebuhr, The Nature and Destiny of Man. The gentleman who do you know how to pronounce his last name? Niebrand. I apologize in advance. Nehmhard. Okay, hit a 3 from the logo.
The logo,
right? And
the logo.
That's what the Indiana Pacers needed to beat the Knicks in Game 3. Game 4, and again, here's my overarching point in theory: had we had OG in Game 3, this series would be over because we would have beat them. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Fits and butts were candy and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas. Bro, jump in at any time. All right, folks. In the Facebook Live, we're starting to get it cracking right now. Facebook Live, we don't have any. I apologize. The stream is good. The connection is good. My shot is not good. I hope you guys like, what I mean, the background and the posters, the old school posters, you know what I mean, and everything else like that. It is what it is, but I am a little bit upset that on Facebook you're not connected. You're getting the webcam, but you're not getting the Riverside stream. It's upsetting. But I'm going to get over that. YouTube, You guys, even though I had to jump off and jump back on, you guys are connected with us. Bro is gaming and commentating. I appreciate both because, bro, you waited like a half an hour. First of all, it was supposed to be 8 o'clock. Then it moves to 9 o'clock. Then we don't even get started till like 9:15, 9:20. Then there's 10 minutes technical difficulties. Bro, thank you so much for your patience and understanding as I work out things that should have been worked out a long time ago. My New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Bro, everything that you're saying is right. Pacers are getting ensemble performances from T.J. McConnell off the bench, Obi Toppin off the bench, a couple other individuals that I'll, look up the stats, and their starters are fulfilling their role. Something that's interesting about
that's where I'm going to be tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow morning, I got a busy day. I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to take a walk out over to DraftKings, all right? And I'm going to put a bet in. And I'm going to put a bet in on the Pacers, all right? The Pacers money line. I don't even want points.
Pacers money line.
Give me the Pacers money line.
I almost feel a sense of betrayal.
Goodness.
I almost feel a sense of betrayal. Goodness. Speaking of goodness, Dallas up 8. Oklahoma City cannot find their footing for one reason or another. Bro, I respect that. I also respect the fact that you have a DraftKings like right down the street from you. That's pretty cool.
Well, next time you come and visit, now would be the time because next time you come visit, probably won't be basketball season or we won't have the playoffs.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness, Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards on the Twitch that you're involved in. Right now, it's about Luka and it's about Kyrie. It's about the Dallas Mavericks. Up 9. Make it 10, folks. Make it 12. Excuse me.
I had Dallas in this series.
Oklahoma City, you're beginning to disappoint me. And I'm gonna hold off on that take. I'm not gonna go full disappointed in OKC because we got a lot of ball game left. But they keep getting behind this Dallas Mavericks team and
lack of leadership, Andre, in the playoffs.
We'll see. I think OKC is going to stay
They have
together. I
not
think
hit
they're
a
gonna recover.
three in the first quarter. They are over.
All right. Well, see, that's only one quarter. You know, basketball is a game, of hot and cold. So you haven't really told me anything that in the first quarter. Well, you have told me something, but
we could say hot and cold. Take it easy, because that Knicks game last night was over after the first quarter. I know you don't really call games after the first quarter, but woo!
No, I agree. They were up, 16, 17, 18 points. And it was the first quarter and the second quarter combined. When you're down close to 25 points at halftime with a battle-tested, and frankly, battle-tested is not the right word, with an injured team, for lack of a better phrase. Tom Thibodeau did the right thing.
Well, like you would say, well, you said it earlier on the stream. You said the Spartans, 300.
That's what I said. And that's what's going to happen. That's what will be taking place tomorrow at Madison Square Garden with the home cooking and the rest that was derived from the Game 4 butt kicking. All right, but, bro, the time for the Spartans 300 is not when you're down 25 points at halftime without Julius Randle, without Mitchell Robinson, without Bodega. That's not a time for the Spartans 300 to surface, right? That's a time to, right? Discretion is the better part of valor. That's the time to call off the dogs because you've already maintained home court advantage in Game 1 and Game 2. We don't need to go for broke in that Game 4. All right. So, but you want to reference a point that I made, and I appreciate you doing that. Tomorrow, folks, Madison Square Garden, 7, 8 o'clock, whatever particular time the game is on. I might have to get my act together and we do another Zoom for this and see what the heck the deal is with Facebook. Continuing not to, Facebook, we had a great relationship. You respected the stream. And now this episode, for some reason, I really hurt my heart on Facebook. And it's a little bit late. People are doing what they're doing. I get it. But it would have been great to have the Facebook connected as it should have been. It would have been great to start on time. But still, we got the Facebook. We got Twitch. YouTube is strong. So we're making progress in the way that we can make progress. Yes, I did say 300. Yes, you will be seeing the story of 300 tomorrow. And the Knicks are going to get that crucial Game 5 W. Okay, let's because there's a lot of meat on the bone. We've gone back and forth, Knicks Pacers. We have a lot to get to. We're at the 38-minute mark. This stream is going over an hour, no doubt about it. Because now that I've, and I'm still, but you just have to make the lemonade out of the lemons. You got to make hay while the sun shines. You can't cry over spilled milk. I'm going to stop with all the statements here. But the technical difficulties are what they are. Facebook Live is what it is. Everything else is as it should be. We're going to move over to the Minnesota and Denver series. Minnesota looked like they were going to sweep this series and establish themselves as the new power in the Western Conference. And then what do we have after that? They get Mike Tyson knocked out in Game 3. Wasn't even close at any particular point in that game. And then in Game 4, they lose a back-and-forth game. But still, Denver won. That wasn't a 2 or 3. Denver won that game, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points, whatever the final score was. Minnesota, you're starting to look like what we saw in Donnie Brasco. Bro, have you even seen Donnie Brasco? Semi-disrespectful question. A little bit before your time. Donnie Brasco, you would have still been a younger guy. And the reason it's not that big of a deal you haven't seen Donnie Brasco is because it's one of these that's in limbo, right? It'll be on Netflix for a little bit. It'll be on Hulu for a little bit. And it doesn't have the same cachet. It doesn't have the same prominence in the crime mob stratosphere as a film like Goodfellas, I can't even put it in the same sentence as The Godfather, or even another film like a Scarface or a Carlito's Way, But it's quality. Shout out to Johnny Depp. Shout out to Al Pacino. It's a quality film. Minnesota Timberwolves, you're starting to look fugazi to me. Starting to look fugazi. Starting to look like a fake. I was going to say.
I almost feel like Rudy should have stayed.
I was going to say again.
Rudy should have stayed.
I was going to. Who should have stayed?
Rudy.
Rudy, you were right on that take. I lined up with Gilbert Arenas, who didn't really say what he meant. I think he could have said it, it's not selfish. Selfish is the wrong word. He took it. That's what Gil's take was, too far with the selfish angle. No, Rudy was not selfish. He made a family decision in a crucial moment that turned out 100%. You want to be there for your team to win that game, even though it's not a game 7. It's an important game in a nip and tuck series. But he made the family decision. They could have lost that game, and they already won game 1, so they got home court advantage. But they could have, I'm thinking Rudy needs to be there for them to really. But they did everything that they needed to do without Rudy.
Yeah, almost better, almost better because they didn't. The Nuggets couldn't game plan for them without Rudy. And it always seems in the playoffs, every team that Rudy plays for, he ends up becoming a liability.
I'm going to push back on that. I think Rudy, specifically in big men in general, get a bad rap. This whole idea that you don't need bigs in the N.B.A., which is crazy to me. We're going to do a little bit of N.B.A. draft talk, but shout out to Donovan Clinnigan out of Connecticut, who played for the Mass Spartans, a team based in Massachusetts. That's on the grassroots circuit here, in the Cape and Islands, South Shore, Greater Boston area. Shout out to Donovan Clinnigan, who last I saw was picked to go 8th. And Stefan Castle is like the 5th or 6th pick. So 2 UConn Huskies in the top 10. I'm loving that. Back to the low-key sneak dissing that you were just doing about Rudy Gobert. This idea that big men, Rudy's not a liability. He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He's a guy that averages 13, 14, 15 rebounds a game and 3-4 blocks a game and 12, 13, 14, 15 points a game on 60% shooting. Like this whole idea,
he ain't shooting no 60% in the playoffs. So take it easy with that.
We'll go ahead and take a look at it because he almost doggone near is shooting 60% because he only takes shots around the basket.
Yeah, he does, but pull it up.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get those numbers for you. But the shade that Rudy Gobert has gotten, this whole idea that, you put a big in a pick and roll and he's not going to know what to do. And Jokic is the greatest center of all time because Shaq wouldn't have known what to do with a pick and roll. And Shaq couldn't defend the 3-point line. Pump the brakes, folks. Pump the freaking brakes. Okay? This whole 3 and D and everybody having to be able to shoot from half court nonsense. Rudy Gobert's not a liability in any stretch of the imagination for all the aforementioned reasons in terms of what he does and what he brings to the table. And beyond that, and we're at the 45-minute mark, which is beautiful to see. And this is the second stream after the first stream was like 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes that we couldn't even get right because of technical difficulty. So I'm really glad that we're finally hitting our stride, meaning me, and getting my head out of the sand. Shout out to SandCity Sports. My head shouldn't be in the sand with technical difficulties and starting late. But we're starting to hit the stride here, which is good to see. And we're starting to get maybe some good content, hopefully some good content. Hopefully. Folks, Rudy Gobert is a perennial all-star or should be a perennial all-star. Rudy Gobert is somebody I would not have any problem putting in the Basketball Hall of Fame, even though he's not going to have the overall all-star appearances that other Hall of Famers will just because he's in the West and he's not, what he does, his particular skill set does not deserve the respect it's due, frankly. And the fact that people, the idea of centers is almost, like hieroglyphics. A center.
Does Rudy get into the Hall of Fame? Yeah, you think? I don't know about that one. I mean, Ben Wallace got in, but Ben Wallace also got a ring. He got a couple rings, don't he?
Well, they only got one. That Detroit
Yeah,
team only got
Rudy
one.
is on the Ben Wallace track. He's going to have multiple Defensive Player of the Years. He's going to be top 10 in rebounds, top 10 in blocks. But he's not a
But
guy
no
that,
ring.
the ring is pending, and then he doesn't have a lot of all-star appearances. That's what's tough.
Yeah,
Same thing with Ben Wallace.
Ben had all-star appearances.
Yeah, but just a handful.
But he's still.
It's not like you're talking about a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 time Hall of Famer. The other thing about it is the NBA Hall of Fame, in my view, is not serious. It's a participation trophy Hall of Fame. When Vlade Divac made the Hall of Fame, all due respect to Vlade Divac, come on. And this is what I have to say. And this is what I got from Lou Merlone. I'm going to ask you a quick question, bro. And it's going to be 2 quick questions in terms of how I feel about the Hall of Fame. Is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Bro, is Rob Gronkowski a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
All right, exactly. All right. Now, it was a little bit of a, yeah. It was like a split-second delay. Lou Merlone, WEEI, OMF. They should have never taken him off the air. It was stupid in my opinion. OMF was great. Did they have some takes that I didn't necessarily? Ooh.
What?
My light flickered on, flickered off. Okay, but we're good. You might have seen a little flickerage. Shout out to Stranger Things. Hopefully we don't have the Demogorgon looking for me. I don't want any.
Well, there was some northern lights over Arizona, so.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Aliens might be touching down.
Okay, aliens. Hopefully the aliens. My white light's been good. Been good. It's connected to power. Is my power source good? Power source is good. Some flickering lights. That might have to do with the energy that we're bringing to this. Excuse me. But we don't want any issues with the Demogorgies. But if I have to go back to the awesome 80s, I most certainly will. I most certainly will go back to the awesome 80s if I need to. Back to Biggs and back to Rudy and back to the Hall of Fame. NBA is a participation trophy Hall of Fame. It's not. It doesn't have the rigor that the Baseball Hall of Fame. Baseball's the top. Football is second, and then the NBA is like a distant third in terms of just saying no. NBA, the Hall of Fame is like a marketing wing of the league to make it this global, international, those are the same things, powerhouse. Do you even know who Vlade? I'm not going to disrespect you, but
do I know who Vlade Divac is? He better quit.
All right, I apologize for that board, but again, what 2 teams did Vlade Divac play for?
Played for the Kings and the Lakers.
All right, thank you. All right, good.
Yeah, I don't know who you think you're coming out acting like I don't know who you talking about. All right.
Vlade Divac's best years were in the 90s, bro. When you were in elementary school. That's why I'm asking those questions. They are low-key disrespectful, and I apologize. But he was an all-star maybe once, and he's a Hall of Famer. What are we even talking about here? The NBA Hall of Fame is not serious. So do I think Rudy Gobert will get in the Hall of Fame? Yes, but not because we don't have a serious Hall of Fame, because he's going to have 4 or 5 Defensive Player of the Year awards and these statistics, these defensive statistics that are important. Same thing with Dennis Rodman. I have no problem with Dennis Rodman being in the Hall of Fame because he dominated important statistical categories, i.e. rebounding. This is a reason I think John Stockton does not get the credit he deserves in the all-time conversation. Now, is John Stockton pound for pound better than Isaiah Thomas? No, he's not pound for pound better. But, bro, and a lot of other people, as I adjust my chair to get myself ready to attack load management for the junk science that it is. You know how many games John Stockton missed in his entire career total? Less than 25. All right, and we'll get that statistic for you. Less than 25 games his entire career. Now, for all you load management and the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, he's running these guys into the ground. And look at all these injuries with the Knicks. All this slander that I've had to listen to. You see John Stockton, he's from Washington. He was actually, bro, if I can interject, I'm glad your Twitch is going well. John Stockton was at the University Sports Complex, the U, now called Starland in Hanover, because his daughter was an up-and-coming basketball player. I, of course, showed up late and missed this. And I'm upset with myself to this day. This happened like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm still mad. John Stockton's son was a pretty good ball player, played at Gonzaga, some like the NBA league. And speaking of which, I'm glad that we're at the 50-minute mark There's no sign of stopping. We are going to get to. All right, the OKC is down 7. They're going to keep it close. I'm sticking with OKC. Bro, does John Stockton have do we see, and he's a quiet, private guy, so on and forth. But when he comes out for like the All NBA 75 team, and like when the All-Star game is in Utah and he comes out, does he look like he's physically debilitated? No. He looks just like any Michael Jordan. You see him. He's obviously in his 60s. He's older. But he's in good health for his age. He's active. He's fine.
But you got to think of this. I mean, when John Stockton was coming up, did AAU even exist?
All right, I'll get to your AAU point in a second. But what I will tell you, what did exist when John Stockton came up? Hard fouls. You want to talk about the 80s? You want to talk about the 90s? Before they finally broke through and made it to the championship in 97 and 98? And by the way, the Utah Jazz, who were known, right? There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. Utah Jazz, under the leadership of Jerry Sloan, the great coach Jerry Sloan, they should have never gotten rid of him because he disagreed with Darren Williams. That was stupid. Even though they should have put him on leave. They shouldn't have fired him. Because it got to a point where Jerry Sloan said him or me. Which you really can't do. I mean, you might have been able to do it in a different era of the NBA, but honestly, looking back, they should have just got rid of Darren Williams. Because he didn't really do anything for that franchise.
Should have got rid of Darren Williams.
Yeah, they ended up getting rid of him anyway. So hindsight's 2020, but they certainly should have gotten rid of Jerry Sloan. They should have just had a 10-day. They should have just told both of them to go home for 10 days and go on vacation. That's what should have happened. Jerry, go on vacation. It should have been a forced vacation. Because Jerry Sloan's, and my chair is creaking a little bit. I hope that it's what it is. I'm thrilled that I'm finally getting into a groove here. The Facebook, it's just me. Do we have any? It's not the best shot. You can't even see. All right, so Facebook hasn't taken off, but it's live. I'm happy. You can see that it's going on. We don't have the best shot here. This isn't the shot that I like because you don't have the dual, and I can't. I got one shot for the YouTube and Twitch, and I got another shot for Facebook. So I'm not getting the best shot, but it's a shot. So we'll work with it. But I'm glad that we're live in some capacity, even though you can't see my bro who's tuning in and doing his thing on Twitch. We're going to go over and take a look. So Facebook is good. YouTube is good. No necessarily comments, but we're good. And the Twitch, which we've added, the Twitch is still going strong. All right, so we're stepping our game up. Okay, we meaning you for being patient and me for finally getting my act together after 10 minutes of technical difficulties and a half an hour after the delay from the previous delay. I have delays from previous delays, bro. This is like CP times squared.
Nah, I can't get
Craziness, bro. But I appreciate you being here and being patient and sticking with me. Back to John Stockton and load management being junk science. John Stockton, pound for pound, is not better than Isaiah Thomas. That's not what I'm saying. And by the way, shout out to Isaiah Thomas. Shout out to, what was I going to say? And we're going to get into some cultural things. We're going to get into some cultural topics. Bro, do you watch Club Shay Shay? Shannon Sharp's one of his 2 pods, bro? Yes or no?
No.
No, it's no problem. And I'm glad you're doing your thing on the Twitch. And I'm glad that you're here with us on SandCity Sports.
Oh! My bad.
Bro, what's your 2K ranking?
I'm not that. I take a lot of L's in 2K.
Take a lot of L's. What's your Madden ranking?
My rating is 11. I stopped playing Madden. I made it to the top. I don't even know. I got 400 wins though.
400 wins.
Over 400 wins in Madden.
And bro, we'll go for 10, whatever. You stay on as long as you can. I know you got to do what you got to do from the gaming space, but you multitask how you need to multitask. Here's my overarching point. Pound for pound. Here's the point that I wanted to make about Isaiah Thomas is that he. So the first point I want to make about Isaiah Thomas is I will never get over the fact that he's from the west side of Chicago. And you want to talk about rough upbringing, and he talks about it. The clip that I just saw, which was great yesterday for Mother's Day, is Isaiah Thomas winning the MVP of the All-Star game. I don't know if it wasn't on Mother's Day because the All-Star game is in February, but him hugging his mother and that scene, every time I see it, almost brings tears to my eyes. And it's just a poignant moment. Him winning the MVP, and it's kind of similar. It's very similar to Kevin Durant's MVP acceptance speech when he says, "Mom, you're the real MVP." That was comparable to that moment when Isaiah Thomas. But, Isaiah Thomas, growing up on the west side of Chicago, shout out to Hoop Dreams, classic, he grew up in a situation that was similar to Arthur Agee, right? Arthur Agee, his dad was kind of in that house, had his issues. With Isaiah Thomas, his dad was not able to be with the family because of the draconian and counterproductive welfare laws that existed where the man could not be in the house and the family received benefits, which was preposterous. So in order to receive benefits when you fall in hard times, families had to essentially break up, which only heightened the problems. Okay, you want to talk about fiscal and political policy, that why we should have people getting involved in government to have common sense policies? That made no sense. So Isaiah Thomas, who's one of the younger of 5, 6, 7, 8 siblings, growing up in a house without a father in the west side of Chicago, and I'll never get over this. To this day, I can't get over this. And some of those things that were happening in the 80s, 40 years ago. No, this is in the 70s when he was coming up, because he didn't make it to the NBA till the early 80s. Won the NCAA championship in 81, drafted in 82, and then he comes into his, prime in the late 80s, and then, he thought Michael Jordan was
Rudy,
and we all know, how that played out. What am I getting at? Back to Isaiah Thomas and why, yesterday, Mother's Day, I was proud. Growing up at that time in Chicago, and I don't know, it may be similar in certain respects now. You have television series like, The Chi. You have the term Chirac. Shout out to my roommate in prep school, Demario Edens of Chicago. Got a chance to visit Chicago when I was in prep school. Demario Edens of UAB fame went to the Elite Eight. I believe it was in 2005 or 2004. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to Hoop Dreams. Bro, the vice lords and the leaders of the different gangs would basically go around the neighborhood and just knock on the doors and be like, "We need to see your kids, your middle school age kids, maybe even elementary school age kids, to, basically begin them on the path to becoming gang members." I don't mind telling the story. And I'm going to tell another Isaiah Thomas story before we move on to why he is better than John Stockton pound for pound, but John Stockton's achievements usurp him because of longevity. So Isaiah Thomas tells a story.
Hold on 1 second, Dre. 1 second, Dre.
Right. No problem. I don't mind, because I was just talking, and I'll continue to talk on this topic, because it's an important topic as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to everybody that may be tuning in or just passing by. We're late on this Zoom. We're late on all the different lives, but at least we're live. And that's a step in the right direction. And I need to get a couple other things in order. Back to Isaiah Thomas and what always resonates with me. He's in elementary or middle school. He's a kid. Gang leaders in their teens, 20s, and 30s show up to his house, telling him he needs to come with them to begin the process of becoming a part of their gang. He's literally not even in his teens. And he talks about his mom said, as the gang leaders came into the house, he, stepped out on the porch. Older woman, these, formidable gang leaders, she told them straight up and down, there's only one gang, and that's the Thomas gang. My kid is not going with you this afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be. Beat it. West side of Chicago. And they had to respect it. Two other quick funny stories. I said one, but I'm going to tell two quick, and then we're going to get back to Isaiah Thomas and John Stockton. One, Bobby Knight saw Isaiah Thomas, knew the caliber of player. Bobby Knight, military guy, came to the west side of Chicago for the home visit. Home visit had to take place during the day because at that point in time, they didn't have electricity. Home visit took place during the day. Bobby Knight shows up. I'm going to make this story quick. It's a great story. And it's basically Isaiah Thomas' older brothers, kind of into, talking to Bobby Knight and kind of, is this guy, going to help? His nickname was Tuss. Is this guy going to help him or not? Finally, it gets to a point where there's a disagreement between Bobby Knight and one of Isaiah Thomas' brothers. Isaiah Thomas' brothers said we could take this outside. Bobby Knight in the west side of Chicago with maybe an assistant coach and somebody driving. Bobby Knight stood up, rolled up his sleeves, and said, you want to take this outside? I'm right with you. We going outside. At which point, Isaiah Thomas' mom, who was sitting there saying nothing, and everybody's trying to calm the situation down. And that's what let Isaiah Thomas' mother, who made the decision in the news conference. Isaiah Thomas didn't speak in his own college announcement news conference. His mom got on television and said, my son is attending Indiana University. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Bro, jump in at any time. We're going to get back to Stockton versus Isaiah. We're going to get back to the Timberwolves. We're going to get back to the N.B.A. draft. And we're going to give you some live coverage. So that was how he decided to go to Indiana. Bobby Knight stood tall, showed the love. So, and that was the beginning of what would end in a national championship. The next story, when Isaiah Thomas was at Indiana, it might have been his sophomore year when they were on their way to a national championship, tells a story of how his girlfriend, now wife, dropped him off because he, from Indiana at his house in Chicago. Walks into the
we're getting
house.
Close to an hour.
I got you, bro.
Any more takes?
Let me just finish this Isaiah Thomas story, then we'll get to some takes. Drops him off at the house in Chicago. No lights. House, just things strewn about, chaotic. He broke down crying. His girlfriend looped back around, didn't leave, waited. He goes back outside, goes to his girlfriend, can I please spend Thanksgiving holiday with you? There's not, you know what I mean? And, he ended up spending Thanksgiving with her family. It was okay. That's his wife now of many years. But just perspective on the journey for him to have the success. Isaiah Thomas is better pound for pound. John Stockton has the longevity stats because he played every single doggone game for his almost 20-year career. He's going to have the all-time leading assist, all right, for decades more. I'm saying that. That's not going to be surpassed. He has the all-time leading steals. That's not going to be surpassed because he showed up to work every single day for 20 years. I don't believe in this load management nonsense. All the way back to the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets, Minnesota. Well done is better than well said. You either get your act together and win game freaking 5, or you might be out of here in 6 games after losing 3 straight. I don't think Denver is going to give up the home court advantage after they fought so hard to get it back. But Minnesota, we need a dog. We need you to get, want to talk about youth and inexperience? You're not going to use it. I'm not going to say that you disappointed me, but it's disappointing. Bro, do you have anything on that?
Mm-hmm.
Jump in when you need to, bro. Because I know you've been with me. It's been almost an hour. We'll let you get up out of here. I got a couple more things I need to say. Now that I finally got hot. Okay, it took about 20 minutes for me to get everything in order. The Facebook is not what it needs to be, but it's on. YouTube is on. Twitch is on. We're making some progress. I got a couple more things I need to say now. Now that I done warmed up. Dallas is up 9. Oklahoma City. Okay. Did you see the Lomachenko fight this weekend, bro? We mentioned. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lomo beat the brakes off that dude.
Yeah, Lomo whooped on him.
Yeah. And what I'm saying, the comparison to this game tonight is you saw from the first round, I mean, he TKO'd him down the stretch, but he just wore him down round after round after round after round at just technically. I think he landed like 50% of his punches. And the other guy was like 17%. So 2 skilled fighters, he just, by the time he got to the 10th, 11th, but whenever he stopped him, it was just and that's what I'm seeing in this Dallas OKC. OKC, where is your grit? Where is your you're down 9 points the entire game. Bro, jump in at any time as we move, and just with your takes and your thought and your perspective.
Okay, see, they lack leadership, and I feel like come playoff time, leader's going to come down. Can't really just rely on the coach. Somebody got to be a leader on the court.
Point taken. And Shay, you're young, but this is, that learn. Shout out to Tom Petty. Shout out to Tom Petty, learning to fly. When we were young, coming up in the game, when we were younger, go ahead and mute if you need to, bro. When we were younger, meaning when I was in elementary and grammar school, and Dwayne was, first, second, third grade, and we used to watch the Michael Jordan learning to fly videos over and over, and we had one CYO
over and over. Hey, good looks on that, Dre. You always kept me hip on what I should be watching, who I should be listening to. Biggie, Live After Death, both albums.
Shout out to 1997, Notorious Thugs. I had some good, influence. Other things I shouldn't have done. I remember I had you guys watch Kids when you were coming. That was a bad look. You shouldn't have watched Kids.
That was a bad look. Yeah. That was a bad look.
Yeah, that was too much. That was the wrong document. That was the wrong documentary to have 6th and 7th graders and 5th graders watch it. That was very bad. So that was when Keeping It Real goes wrong. Don't have your younger siblings watch shock documentaries. Don't do that. Kids was a shocking, and it wasn't a documentary. It was it was like it was a docudrama, almost like on, kind of before. So Kids was crazy, but it wasn't for like 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th graders. So that was wrong. Learning to Fly was much better. Learning to Fly was good. That was good to give to your younger sibling, and Tom Petty, and that was a good song.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, funny, and hindsight's 2020. You learn. So what was I moved off my John Stockton take. I was on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and just them. Oh yeah, the youth, the inexperience, the learning to fly. But I don't have when you don't have wings and all the rest of that stuff. You can probably find that on YouTube now. Learning to Fly, Chicago Bulls, and their first championship, beating the Lakers in 1991. You can probably find that somewhere.
I remember watching that. I actually do remember watching that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Let me just check.
We had it on VH1.
Yeah, Facebook is still going. Viewership is down, but we're still going on Facebook, even though we're not on. Okay, the YouTube is still going. The Twitch is still going. All right, this is awesome. Bro, you've been tuning in. We got an hour and 10 minutes. We'll go for a little bit longer. But it was also awesome while we're on that topic, and I don't mind, flash from the past. Sometimes I dream that he is me. You got to see that's how I dream to be. Boom, 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 boom. The dream I move. The dream I groove. Like Mike. If I could be like Mike, I want to be like Mike. If I could be like Mike, whoa, 1992, bro.
Yeah, man. Mike had us in a choke hold, man. Mike had 1992. Every single kid in a choke hold.
Big bucket by Shea. 8-point game. They're staying right in there. Yeah. So we grew up with it. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I was just talking to Pops the other day. We used to go play basketball at the courts in Orangeburg. It was great experience. It was a great experience. It was a great time. But you gotta get, you gotta have that. My point, what I'm getting at is, and this is before the Nyack College days when I was idolizing the Nyack College players who had a very important impact on me, very positive impact. And I'm still learning from those lessons. Timberwolves, you gotta level up. You gotta grow up. You gotta start battling back. and putting up a fight, and if not, you might lose game 5 because Minnesota, but it's got to be a close loss. They can't lose in another game going away by double digits or a comfortable 8-9 points after where they were. Thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I agree.
Good?
Minnesota got to show some fight.
All right, bro. We're gonna get over to some cultural topics that are important. We're gonna stay in basketball, but then I want to touch on some cultural pieces. We're not gonna, but it's just surface area stuff. But we need to touch on it. N.B.A. draft combine, bro. Adam Silver made a very important adjustment, whereas players have to attend the combine based on the CBA now, which I agree with. It used to be, the top flight players did not attend the combine because I already know this team's going to draft me and yada, yada, yada. And that's really how it is in the NFL to a certain extent, even though the combine is just a huge deal because football is a huge deal at every single level, even all the way down to the flag level. It's just bananas, and it should be. Flag is great because, you get away from the contact, but people still get a chance to play football, and it's super duper cool. And if NBA combine, you need to attend. Everybody needs to attend. And, of course, the number one storyline is, bro, Bronny James, that's right. Number one storyline is Bronny James, who took his measurements today. He's 6'1.5" without shoes, 6'7" wingspan, cleared all the health and safety type of protocols. This is looking like it's going to happen. That Bronny James is going to be indeed drafted by the LA Lakers. Okay, jump in at any time. Here's where I'm at with this Bronny James situation. I was going to use some strong language. I have to watch the words that I'm using about this. I'm happy for the James family and this culmination of an achievement. LeBron James obviously grew up without his father, and he's been a great dad to his 3 kids. And, it's very difficult being the children of global icons. It's difficult, Everybody talks about the money that they have, and but nobody wants to talk about how you have to have security detail everywhere you go, and how you have to duck and cover and all these other things just to do stuff that you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the restaurant, how you're basically confined to your multi-million-dollar homes, which is great, but I think a lot of us would want to have lots of money, but still live the same way that we live as just working class people. We don't want to have a ton of money and have to deal with what the super rich have to deal with. We don't want, and Michael Jordan has a famous statement, you'd want to be me for 6 seconds. You'd want to be me for 6 minutes. You want to be me for 6 days. You would not want to be me for 6 years. You would not want to be me for 6 weeks. You would not want to be me for 6 years. You wouldn't want to have to deal with what Michael Jordan and his family have to deal with over the course of your life. It's just burdensome. So in terms of Bronny James and the James family, I tip my hat. I'm happy for them in terms of this milestone. Now, let's just cut to the quick. Bronny James is walking down the same path that child celebrities walk down. That's the path that he's walking down. I'm hopeful for him. It's a very difficult path. Macaulay Culkin, Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan. Will Smith was not a child star. Will Smith came into his stardom in his later teen years after establishing his rap career. I'm concerned with Bronny as a child celebrity and looking at what happens to a lot of child celebrities in the long term. That's my concern.
I don't have any concern on that top. I don't have a concern. I think it'd be just fine, to be honest.
Okay. Any reason? Any further? You can be just fine. Meaning, what's just fine to you?
Get drafted by the Lakers. Get your chance to grow with the organization, and then we see what goes from there.
Okay. And so he's going to be able to take his lumps, the good, the bad?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. And let's say his NBA career is not all that, let's say he has a middling 4 or 5 year NBA career and it doesn't pan out and his dad retires. So what's the next phase of, does he? And so what I would like to see from Bronny, what I would like to see, I don't know. What I would like to see from Bronny James is him to continue to mature. He seems to be a well-adjusted, respectful, considerate, intelligent young man. So whatever direction he wants to take those talents that he has to benefit himself in society positively, I'm good with. I'm good with. Here's my thing that I go back to the big concern word that I use, right? Here's my thing with that. Does Bronny James want to be the next CEO of Clutch Sports? Is that what he wants to do? Does he want to be a media mogul? Is that what he wants to do? If basketball is not his thing, that's my question. Who the heck is Bronny James? Who is he? And that's what I talk about. That's what I get back to. And it's not about Bronny James specifically. And, I have to say this. And it's not like a hot take. Because LeBron James is great for the AAU grassroots community. He's great. LeBron James, when he has time, shows up to all of the EYBL events. And it's awesome. He was there for Bronny. He's going to be there for Bryce. It's great. But what is grassroots basketball and youth sports known for? Overbearing parents. That's what it's known for. Is there anything wrong with supporting your child? No. I was one of those kids that needed support and got the support, and it made a huge difference. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that the support that I got was a lot of times for me to get an opportunity, like just to be on the team, to be able to participate. Bronny's in the situation where he's always had everything structured for him. And what you see in grassroots is parents or their support system for these athletes, particularly talented athletes, will fight almost like sports agents for that athlete to have everything around them, essentially never to leave their comfort zone. To the point when they have to leave their comfort zone and move up to the college level, they don't have the requisite, it's not like Chris Mullin or Pearl Washington or Kenny Anderson or LeBron James. You know how you got to be that McDonald's All-American? But on the playground. Figuring it out for yourself. Showing up to an opposing park in a different neighborhood and being like, we got next. What? We coming to take your court over. Isaiah Thomas talks about it, playing on the courts in Chicago. Doc Rivers' older brothers chasing him off the court because they beat them in their own neighborhood. And that wasn't acceptable. And so now we got, oh, Draymond Green's on inside the NBA. I love it. Draymond Green, I can't stand him sometimes as a player. Draymond Green's filling in for Ernie. This is great. I love it. I can't say it. I say that enough because I'm, even though Draymond brings a lot of his act into the team, which I don't agree with, but his act is great. Bro, are you getting ready to head out? Do you have any further things?
Yeah, I gotta get ready to head out.
Okay, bro.
We could try tomorrow night. We could try tomorrow night for the Knicks game, possibly.
Okay, we'll try to get that in order. I appreciate you, bro, because you waited and you were patient, and then we had technical difficulties. We got an hour and 20 minutes of the actual show, beyond the 10 minutes of just back and forth. And so anything further you want to say? I just, final points, if you had anything to say on Bronny or anything to say for the culture, I was just going to point out.
I think we're worried about the wrong things.
Okay.
We see it happen all over the world in every sense of that
what's going on. So, I mean, I mean, he's putting in the work. So it's not like he's going to put in the work. It's not like he's not going to work.
Right. So you put the work in. You're willing to put one foot in front of the other and move forward. And it's going to work out well for. It's going to work out well for you. So, bro, just real quick, I think we'll get ready to wrap this up because I didn't really have too much to say further, and we can just hold off. I wanted to just look at some other, great. I wanted to give some shout outs, but obviously, you guys, you're already watching and supporting these other great people that are doing some great content, and SandCity Sports, us right here, we're trying to build this channel up and this content up to that next level and grow and build and so on and forth. And so, bro, thanks so much. Your thoughts on Coach Bud, real quick.
He threw a match in a fire. I don't really until he started moving some pieces, nothing changes.
Gotcha. And we'll start with that because I did throw a match in a fire. We'll pick the next episode up with that.
Well, I mean, just in terms of the Suns are still burning, baby. The Suns are still in turmoil.
I'm still in turmoil. Bro, appreciate you. I can see your shoulders. Look like you've been in the gym. Braids look good. And we will see you and everybody else the next time. Peace.
See you next time. Peace, bro.
Willis says